Welcome to Carry On, the weekly business travel roundup with Nevil Gibson. China's already out of lockdown and it's having an impact on the aviation scene. Why is that?
Well, we've had a pretty steady global capacity, around about 90 million seats. This is a calculation based on what airlines have available, and it changes from week to week, and it's been hovering around 90 million. But in the past week, it jumped by more than 3 million seats, and that was because Shanghai came out of lockdown and the China aviation industry is up and running, mainly internally, but it won't be too far away. I think that they'll have international flights, and of course that would include New Zealand, but that might be some months off. But it's taken the world total to 93 to 94 million, so it's quite a big spike compared with what's been going on for recent months. Looking further out, taking a 3-month look, they expect that airlines will cancel one or two numbers, but that's looking pretty good for the rest of the year.
Japan's also eased some travel restrictions, but it's still not wide open.
We've been waiting for Japan to lift its border restrictions. They have going to be lifting them in the past week, and that's mainly for tour groups. So you have to go on a package tour. There's still restrictions there. They're still limiting it to 90-odd countries, including New Zealand. And these are basically the countries that are pretty fully vaccinated as much as you can. But it still leaves, 2/3 of the world can't go into Japan at the moment, and but travel there is still restricted, and it's also restricted coming up because of the number of aircraft. So not every airport's operating either.
The James Bond helicopter is making a comeback. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, there was 15 of these helicopters were built back in 2015 by ACH, that's the Airbus Helicopters division. But the important part here is that Aston Martin, the builders of the DB11, the James Bond vehicle that is used in almost every film, they have the job of doing the interior. So it looks like a James Bond car, but it's a helicopter. They're making 15 more of them. 14 were sold, including one to New Zealand, although they haven't been able to track it down, and they're going to build another 15. So they'll be snapped up pretty quickly, I imagine.
Now, flying taxi developments. What's the latest on this?
A couple of developments there. A German company called Lilium claims that it has solved the problem of you can get plenty of lift out of lots of little drone type, what do you call them, winged sort of things. But the hard bit is making the plane then go straight horizontal, and the German company, which is a startup, claims that they've got a wing that can change that, and so that wing operates as going forward, and they say that there's minimal resistance to it flying in a horizontal position. The other development is in the Gulf in Dubai, a company called Falcon Aviation Services, which already provides corporate jets. They've put in an order to Embraer, who've also got one of these electric vertical and takeoff vehicles. They've ordered 30 of them. They hope to have those up and running in Dubai by 2026, and that'll be ferrying people around from the airport, both in the Maktoum airport in Dubai and also the airport at Abu Dhabi. So plenty of money there. And so the flying taxis, not just Los Angeles, but now in the Gulf as well.
Hypersonic travel's also in the wind. What's going on there?
There's a company in California called Strata Launch, and they've got a contract with the Pentagon to develop hypersonic vehicles in the air. This week they unveiled a big aircraft that sort of loads the hypersonic thing. It's not really a passenger vehicle, it's more for payloads and that sort of thing, kind of rocket-powered one, but they've got to launch it very quickly because hypersonic sound is 5 times the speed of sound, so you're talking about a very fast thing. And of course the hypersonic area is dominated at the moment by defence contractors, with both China and Russia claiming they've got hypersonic rockets. And so the main area there is how do you defend yourself against these high-speed rockets?
New York's LaGuardia Airport opens a new terminal. That's big news for travellers.
It certainly is. LaGuardia is one of the world's worst airports, many thought. They're going through a series of terminals. They've got The B terminal has been completed, so that's in good shape. And the one that's just opened or partially opened is Terminal C, which is Delta Airlines. These terminals cost several $billion. These are enormous things, so it's going to take LaGuardia up into the top ranks of some of the best airports in the United States. Unfortunately, Air New Zealand will be going to JFK, John F. Kennedy Airport, rather than Newark. But LaGuardia looks like the one if you want to try out a new terminal and go on Delta Airlines, that this is the place to go.
Thanks, Neville, for coming in.
Pleasure.